Hey everyone, welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Been a minute for me, but glad to be back. Today we have a Link to the Past, no major glitches, league race. This is the Tower of Hera division, and this is Matt versus Gem. On commentary today, we have Talithar and Clear Mouse, and they'll take it from here.
Yo, Talithar, how's it going? Good morning.
Good morning. It's
So
going good.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so these two fine gentlemen racing in the Tower of Hera division for middle of preset. You know anything about these guys, Matt and Gem? It's Matt041 and Gem7898, right?
Yeah, I mean something like that. I can't really
Okay.
remember. They like to throw random numbers around, I think.
Yeah, okay. Did you also haven't noticed that Gem has a smiley face on his file name?
I did just notice that Gem has a smiley face.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty disappointed that Matt did not draw anything. So maybe he's just being very serious.
Yeah, Gem does seem to be off to a pretty big lead with that smiley face.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, so as you might see, yeah. So Matt on the left, he is Dark Link. I believe also you seem to be also migrate over to a Dark Link sprite for yourself, Telethar, correct?
Yeah, my logic was that if I went with the Dark Link sprite, maybe some of Harry would rub off of me. It didn't work out, but
so far you though, right? Because osmosis still kind of might take a little bit of time to actually flow through, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gem on the other hand has some sort of a red link.
It is pink. Yes, I agree.
Well, it is pinkish reddish, but I know that yesterday he had some issues because he died to a cold stare because he thought he had red mail, and I know
oh, no.
I can see how that happens.
Yeah, it's actually kind of amazing how differently people play with once they have red mail. I feel like at that point they just think that they're invincible.
Oh, you are invincible.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the mortality, right, that cold stare reminds you of, right, is actually maybe just an indicator that you don't have red mail. You are actually not immortal. Speaking of though, so these guys are starting middle preset. I'm actually very proud of both of you guys so far. Hasn't opened a single extra chest that they didn't need to.
Yeah. They didn't do a map check to find out that they're in fact all pendants.
We actually do not need the map. That's correct. Yes. And for what it's worth though, especially so these guys, absolute veterans of Casual Boots Rando. I have never seen them do a map check during the escape sequence, because how could you waste 3 whole seconds, in escape when you could try and get the sub 5 time? Unfortunately, as we're kind of seeing both these guys, do their best movements to get through the beginning of escape. They do not, unfortunately, have the boots to dash. We're going to have to wait how many more minutes? 7.5-ish. 8.5-ish. I can do math, I swear. We're at around the 10-minute mark. We're gonna boost. But until then, we're gonna just hold our directional D-pads.
Yeah. So I was just taking a quick look here. They have almost the same times on their PBs and some of bests. So this is going to be a really good race, I think.
Oh yeah. I mean, I actually don't know how much Miller preset either Matt or Gem has played. I guess kind of like before this, but certainly with NMG League Season 4, these guys have both actually put up quite a bit of practice, I would say. So. I think they've seen the qualifier seed many a time. I think they've complained about Ganon, and especially Matt, maybe with Torch Glitch, also many a time. Does not seem to be the easiest of execution. Is my understanding.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like though. So unfortunately, so we're just kind of watching these guys do escape. Gem looks like he actually, unfortunately, did not quite get the spin on the boomerang guard, but Matt unfortunately got kind of bodied by the green guards, trying to get out of the Zelda cell area. So I guess that kind of evened things up a bit. I guess that the game, while it is seeded, and that they're playing the same seed, the enemy RNG is not the same. So. But maybe there's something in the systematic karma or something that's gonna try to even these things up.
Yeah, it's only bosses that will behave the same. So
actually, I guess I'm curious, Telethar, like, so how has your experience kind of been, running, vanilla presets, versus, I don't know how many, I guess, like NMG, like vanilla, like actual original game NMG runs you've kind of done. I mean, did you kind of like, what are your thoughts, I guess, on vanilla preset? Do you prefer it?
yeah,
About
I
the
mean,
same?
I definitely prefer it for a lot of things. Some of the lag that people complain about, like Lost Woods lag, sucks. But I don't want to learn the text boxes. Like every time I've tried to do NMG, I'm like,
Alright.
how did I
That's
just
very
lose
fair.
2 seconds on text boxes in Escape? And I'm just like, I hate everything right now.
Yeah,
so not having to learn those is a blessing.
Yeah, I think that actually makes a lot of sense. So some people, especially when you first start out, just like standard rando, right? They, you get hit by that green guard. You're like, oh no, like I'm gonna lose. Like, I already need a reset. I think it kind of actually sounds like you lose 2 seconds to text box, and 2 seconds to escape is actually pretty significant. So it sounds like a very similar feeling, honestly.
Yeah, I personally have a terrible mindset on speedrunning, so I've enjoyed the race version of NMG League because I actually will complete runs, whereas like my mindset just is like, oh, I've lost 10 seconds and I'm already outside of Eastern. Oh, look, I'm 10 seconds behind my PB and I'm in Eastern still. This feels bad and I don't want to keep playing.
Okay, and I think
dumb, but also brain go.
I mean, but I also think it's also like I also think it's a very fair mentality. In fact, and actually, like, and you mentioned actually in the race setting, right? One of the major things that are kind of like different. I think there's kind of like a nice thing about vanilla preset in that it's like you can actually watch your opponent, right? Like you can actually see in this case, like if you're in an actual race situation, where is my opponent? You don't need to, have a stream delay, or you can't watch somebody else's stream because you might end up getting extra information that you're not supposed to, right? But in this case, even though it is a randomizer, you know where all the items are, so there's no kind of like puzzle in order to figure out. Just do your best and hope that you don't lose too much time, like kind of what Matt is experiencing in the Octorok field.
Yeah,
basically
that
just
was
getting
rough.
everything is in his way.
Yeah, and so great Sir Nico. This is the randomizer ROM. It's basically a really bad spoiler race, is the way you can think about this. Somehow we have to do Ped, Aga 1, all dungeons, and it's basically just a bad spoiler race, and you're not allowed to save and quit.
Yeah, and the route's kind of linear, It's just like, do you even need 15 minutes? You can probably actually do this in 10. It's not like much more of a divergence, right, for this entire run. In fact, I think we're actually going to see these guys do the exact same thing, from my understanding.
Yeah, I mean the route has just been very well optimized. This would actually be really rough if you just like somehow Men in Blacked your brain and forgot about the vanilla route.
That would be bad.
And then had to like route it on the fly. It would you'd probably not come up with the right ideas.
Yeah, like, well, hopefully, if you play the randomizer enough, maybe your random instincts will kick in, be like, oh my gosh, did I go up to Turtle Rock without the Ice Rod? Where is the Ice Rod? Oh, you know what? Maybe I should check Ice Rod Cave. That's a good place to look, right? As opposed to maybe like, Laser Bridge of Turtle Rock or something.
Yeah. Well, Laser Bridge might have it too. It'd be faster if it was
you're
there.
Right. Yeah. Man. That's that may not be a worthwhile gamble though, honestly, if if we already know the spoiler log for this particular scene.
Yeah, you can save your portal though, so.
No, that is actually true, actually. And you know what? We won't have red mail. Probably not even blue mail. So the Darth warping will actually be pretty quick. That's what it seems like. And also, if you go outside Ice Rock Cave, they're the crabs that do 2 hearts of damage. Like, I mean, I don't think it's getting it much faster, honestly, than that.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're allowed to death warp, but yeah.
Oh, actually, it's actually a good question. So I believe
I
Death
think you are,
warping,
but like,
yeah, I think you are, but I think it obviously loses probably a lot more time, right? Then if you can just mirror, well, but I mean, if you end up dying later, maybe it ends up losing more time. So I guess it's like calculated gamble, but yeah, it's maybe something we can just try to avoid. We have unfortunately have seen some premature death warps or unintentional ones. I believe you had mentioned Cold Stare was a very popular location for people to unfortunately take a tumble. I think
yeah.
Vitreous is also another fan favorite. Ganon's most valuable employee of the month type of situation. Hopefully nothing bad will happen, to these guys in today. We want like a really good, nice and clean fight. Matt, please don't die to the cannonballs. That would be very sad.
Yeah. Another popular death location, the Tower of Hera.
Ah, yes, that is a very popular location. You know what? But I feel like you can't give Hera like all of the credit. You have to, give some dead rocks and boulders. They do their due diligence.
Okay, Gem has shot an extra arrow, which is fine. He cleans it up pretty well, but he now has less arrows for desert, though the exact same number as Matt. So.
Yeah, maybe it's all good. I'm fully expecting. These guys have practiced the best boss fight of the entire game, which is the next one that we're gonna see using the bow in desert. So hopefully they're not gonna need that many arrows.
Fox, he messed up the beginning. He shot 6 arrows to the right instead of 5.
Yeah, it's something I think that maybe he started doing this somewhat recently, like the Pincus strat. But I think Matt has been pretty consistent. He in that doing, I guess, like the traditional quick kill, Armos kill.
Yeah, Ari got us all to start doing Pincus, and we've never been the same since.
Oh, wait, what is this from NMG Bootcamp?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Well, good job, Ari. You're converting these guys. one pink/dark link at a time. Don't be sorry. It's a good thing. It's better for everybody involved. We're let's see. Okay, so we actually gotten actually I don't actually know how much more boot camp we are. We're actually gonna get some spin speed into library. Matt on the other hand is just gonna dash straight in. I'm wondering actually if this unholy spin speed is also part of boot camp as well.
No. I know that when I watched Ari do his race earlier, he in fact skipped that spin speed.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They go for the one on the leaving because that one is much more important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's actually very true.
The entering that screen, it actually doesn't save that much time. Yeah,
it certainly, and it kind of depends on, I guess, like how comfortable, I guess, you are, or maybe even how consistent you are, even for that day, right? Or this race session, whatever you want to call it, for spin speed. Sometimes you're just on, sometimes you're not, even though for the most part you are. Sometimes I think if Matt is a pretty strong proponent of, I'm going to do as few spin speeds as I possibly can in the entirety of the run. Jump seems definitely much more comfortable, I guess, with spin speed. I'm trying to remember what they decided to do outside desert. I don't actually know without the pause buffer if they're going to try and do the spin speed out of desert back, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. And so, I mean, Gem has a little bit of a lead here, but I don't think it'll matter. I think what it's going to matter is if anyone can get a 2-cycle, or if Lanmo will get out of control. Like, that's going to...
Mm-hmm.
It's close enough right now that I feel like Lanmo is just going to decide who's leaving this segment with a lead.
Yeah, no, that's certainly true. And I think so outside of probably, I think we saw maybe one bonk, maybe some very, very minor differences in terms of dash lines from Matt and Gem. Pretty much basically the same, right? I mean, they are actually just about one screen apart. And as you said, Lanmo's can get quite tricky at times. Right, so you actually mentioned before the bosses are seeded. So for Lanmo's, is it just the first cycle that's seeded?
No, it's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
up until you die, in which case it's still seeded, but try number 2 is different, and therefore irrelevant, because I suspect we won't see double deaths on anything.
That would be ideal. I would like to see 0 deaths. That would be the best. But then again, that's may not be up to us for how what their death counter ultimately will be at the very end of the game.
I hope it's the same, whatever number it is.
You know what? Actually, okay, that's fair. So long as the same misfortune befalls on both of them, I guess at least it's even. In this case, it is Friday. Maybe these guys can, get a break or something before the weekend.
So yeah, we both skipped spin speed there.
Yeah, very, very understandable.
For the best, honestly.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. The consequences, as you said, can be pretty severe if you end up going overboard, because oh wow, Gem. It's a really nice rupee drop there, I believe. Oh, Matt also got a 5-2. So while he is a little bit more poor than Gem, it's fine. The important part is that they're gonna both have pretty much like full pod money going into pod in Dark Worlds.
Yeah, they both have comfy money for doing tree pole stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as the tree pole doesn't go wrong.
Well, yeah, you did mention something pretty terrible at the mushroom lag. I hope that doesn't get in the way. Okay, all right, jumps first into Landmos. Hopefully this will be a good pattern.
Pretty good start, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like it's gonna be an early 3 maybe for Gem. I'm sorry. Also, like, maybe not for Matt. Yeah, it looks like early 4. So very, very. Oh no, Matt! Oh no, didn't quite get the 1 hit.
Yeah, those were some pretty annoying last jumps. They were all from the right side to the right side short hops. It's like you can't really account for that too well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and it looks like actually somehow Matt ended up not getting like any hits on the 3rd one, right? Because I think he shot like until like basically the very end. So yeah. Ari, actually, that's actually a great question. Zelda, have you ever had? Do you remember a good seed that you played so far?
I thought that the qualifier had a pretty good seed, but that was pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
And then everyone got too comfy.
You know what?
Got all their PBs, and now it's hated every seed since.
Where's an admin we can go blame? Although I think the race versus from Matt versus Ari, I think from last week, Ari got a 2 cycle. Matt got a 5 cycle for Lambos. I don't know. I mean, maybe the nicety of the seed is in the eye of the beholder, or in the holder of the bow. I don't know. Look, Ganon's gonna be a disaster for every seed. I feel like, so maybe the tolerance is a bit higher for that.
Yeah. Okay. Doom Tap grinded the preset seed, and then got a PB in a race.
That's right, actually. Yeah, that's actually true. He PB'd versus Relkin. Yeah. So actually, so speaking of the Tower of Hera division, got Doom Tap, Relkin, Ari, Matt, Gem, oh my gosh, Fox, and Chex. Really kind of scary 8 set of people that were basically trading blows. So this is, for what it's worth, this is considered to be the finals of the Tower of Hera division, as we're both walking or bunnying towards the Tower of Hera itself for its namesake division. And both Gem and Matt are 2-0, in at least for like this set of 8 for Swiss. So they're both undefeated. And then because it's going to be last week, one of them is going to be the grand champion. And kind of the nicety of NMG League, for what it's worth, both the first and second place finishers are actually going to be able to pick name their own charity and have to get a nominal donation towards them. So actually, pretty cool prize.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had no idea that was a thing, and then until it was announced.
Yeah,
apparently it's a known thing, but That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if it actually made its way into the actual official like document, rules document. But I guess it happened, in the past, where there was precedent for it. And of course, Fox was certainly like the main lead for donating the money. So. All right, so we are here in Tar River. So it looks like actually, where did Jem take damage? Did he get hit by Dead Rock? Is that what happened?
I think it was a boulder.
Boulder? Okay, you know what? They're all round. Some of them have just put out a bit more COVID weight than others. It's all fine, but the point is they all do 1 heart of damage. Matt seems to get relatively unscathed through Hera, which is great. It kind of really reduces the chances of them dying in this dungeon. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean they both came up here with a good amount of health. So they should be okay, barring any huge disasters.
Huge disasters. Never has happened in Hera. Guaranteed. I promise we will not see any. We will only be climbing the tower in the upwards direction, never in the downwards direction.
Yeah, my mentality going through when I was playing these, at least, was that like this sort of distance at this point really didn't matter because this is a race, and like I just needed to get through the light world. You're 10 seconds behind or whatever. It just doesn't matter. There's so much Dark World left to be played, and like that's where I wanted to make up my time. I want to get through the light world. So
yeah, that actually I think is very. Oh my gosh.
No disasters.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Jem's got everything under. Oh no!
Oh no!
That frame rule was so unfair. Jem actually even came in with actually a good amount of I would say buffer for health. So typically 2 hearts is something pretty pretty reasonable, I guess. Maybe not the comfiest of fights, but it is going to be something that people definitely feel better than Oko. And man, that frame roll at the very end, I think that was extremely unlucky.
He jumped down, immediately got hit again, and then got frame ruled.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume in this case the Moldering pattern is gonna be right, as you mentioned, maybe he's still seated.
No.
Please don't die. Okay, all right. So I guess what? Maybe the bonus second climb is that you get an extra bomb. Is that right? So at least he's 1 bomb richer.
Yeah, that saves him half a second in pod, I think. So
okay, well, or if he just takes the hover route, you can save him how many seconds? 5, 10?
Well, the extra Hera climb saves him less time if he takes the hover route because you need less bombs.
Alright, we're doing the second fight. Oh my gosh, dude.
Right. That was a good second fight.
It was a bit close to that middle hole. I'm really glad that we didn't have to experience anything similar to what happened the first time. Alright, so as you mentioned before, the goal is to get out of Light World, which is exactly what Gem is doing right now. Matt has passed the troublesome mushroom in Lost Woods. Maybe it's not as bad if you accidentally pick it up. And specifically vanilla preset, because as I think we kind of watched both Matt and Jem kind of do this with quick swap, right? Maybe it's not going to be at the end of the world you just quick swap over 1 more. I'm actually not sure if Matt would actually reset a run if he accidentally picked up the mushroom in regular vanilla, because it just messes up your menus so much.
Yeah.
He was eyeing that mushroom for Matt. Alright, well, looks like we're very safe on tree pulls, and we've already got, more than enough money. Jem picked up the red rupee from Popo Genocide and Desert, so everything looks great. So he doesn't even have to go pick up, I guess, as many blue rupees.
Yeah, though if he picked up another 5, would he have been able to skip a blue or a red? Is that right?
I already embarrassed myself once, at the very beginning, when I couldn't even do math to figure out how many minutes we had to go get for boots. I am very hesitant to give you an answer for any more math-related answer.
If my math is correct, he's 70 rupees away.
Okay.
3 bread would get him 60, and then there's the guaranteed 5, 6 in Agate Tower. So if he had picked up an
true.
extra
Okay.
blue, he would have been able to
skip it.
skip
Okay.
one of the reds.
But so we do have the boomerang, right? So I guess I don't know like how like that gem is using right now and how effective it's gonna be to get everything. I don't know. Looked okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have skipped like the very left one or something to save a little bit of time.
Yeah, I don't think that boomerang, at least as good as people currently are at it, actually saves any time. I think it's just fun and doesn't cost time.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of fun, I did notice that Matt got the most important chest turn in the entirety of the game, which is the one that faces right when you get the second small key out of Castle Tower.
Is that the most important one?
So that one, at least according to Matt, he says that he really tries to get that one out of all of the chest turns because when you do a chest turn to the right, your light cone right shines to the right, so you actually get like a kind of a free read, on enemy RNG to kind of see like where the guards are. So it's kind of like the little extra, preparation that you can make.
Yeah, I was waiting to find out what makes it the most important one. that actually makes some sense. I thought it was just a meme.
The Matt actually says he uses it, so whether or not it actually is a meme or not, it's it's something that when he was trying to grind for 124, that's kind of what developed. Oh no, stupid red. It's okay. Matt has plenty of buffer for Circle of Pots, dude. Even though like the Dark Archer, he's our buddy. The red guard, like in the Circle of Pots, he is not our buddy. So
yeah.
It's like, there's a lot of even among Castle Tower, we have factions.
Alright, so Gem got poked, so he doesn't have beams, so he's gonna use his boomerang on the bats, which is something we were messing around with in our boot camp.
Yeah. I remember this. I actually think it looks actually really cool. The fact that one, thank you, Ari, for actually kind of organizing all these boot camps and I guess facilitating them. But also too, the fact that things like you and Mike and Humbug and Gem, all the other people who participated, that room is so good with the boomerang, it was really cool to be able to see basically all these little mini rando specific strats that can come out of the woodwork for this.
That was a Gem original when we were
Nice.
labbing that room out.
I kind of, and in some ways, I kind of want Vanilla Preset to keep going because I think it's actually really cool to see all these little kind of, small developments here and there for time optimizations. I guess I'm not sure how much longer it'll kind of go after this league, but it's really cool to basically see now, you go play rando and you actually happen to have the boomerang when you're doing, Agate Tower, something to maybe save you a little bit of extra time.
Yeah.
If only we can start with a hookshot the next league season.
Yeah, just for these 2 rooms.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I haven't. Well, okay. I guess you can't do anything in Vanilla Preset, but even in Rando, I think I haven't seen. I've only seen really the hookshot being used in the second room as opposed to the first.
Oh, it's so good in the first. It's so stupid.
Hundo League, Yurok, make it happen. I believe you are an admin who gets both blame and credit. All right, so Gem is finishing up his Agate Tower as part of Vanilla Preset. 0 blue balls. Only the most talented of pink links I heard can get a 1 blue ball pattern. But you know what? We're not going to see that displayed on Restream today. Gem, if you want to actually see that, you go on and check out Gem's personal stream. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to show it off there. But until then, meanwhile, though, Matt is already in pod. He, as we kind of said, both him and Gem are very, very much set for pod money. So we're good to go. I do believe that I think we've seen before. Matt is very consistent. We're gonna go through a lot of. I think his path is very kind of vanilla, NMG. 124. Typical type of route, right? Pretty traditional pod. I'm gonna assume that Gem's gonna follow suit. I heard rumors that he got a new controller and that it lets him hover better. I do not know if he's using that today.
I don't think you go for the pod hover unless you've been practicing it a lot. It
That's
does
actually
not look
true.
easy.
Well, but I don't know. I saw it on Restream once that Ari did it. I mean, you know, if Ari can do it, right? It can. He
Yeah.
makes everything looks easy. You think that's maybe why he has a 123 time?
Could be.
All right. Looks like very similar path so far. You can see Matt does not look like he's going to give any sort of attempt to right side pod, which is all fine. So we're going to see some more, very traditional execution. Going to see the nice hammer yump. Hopefully not going to be too many
That's
buffers.
very clean.
Oh wow, holy yeah, that's actually really nice hammer yump. Even got kind of like the nice heart, I guess. Oh, but in this case, it didn't actually help him out because he picked it up after the bomb exploded, which is all fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but looks like though he should be safe. I mean, I didn't actually see in this case what they did to try to kill the first set of blue guards, I guess, in Castle Tower. But it looks like he should be fine, at least on Matt's side. Potentially still can get the fairy at the very end of the game in Turtle Rock. Hopefully, I assume there was no major disasters on Jump side as well, so they should be, quite prepared for the future. Oh my gosh, dude, Matt is playing so well. The very, very sexy statue.
Yeah, this has been a very, very solid pod from both of them, really.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Gem also can just land this a little bit more buffers, but nothing too much.
Yeah, it looks like it. All right, he just a little minor adjustment. He definitely made it through. Yeah, looks like Matt just got didn't maybe quite start his dash the first time around. Looks like he got just a little bit caught up. Didn't lose any health, which is really nice. But he just had a little bit of a delay before going down to the basement.
Yeah. So maybe he doesn't gold this pod. I think he's.
It's kind of unfortunate because I think, yeah, like as you mentioned, I think it was actually quite good so far. Like overworld seemed pretty solid, and then inside pod also seemed really good.
Yeah, nice turtles.
Yeah, but I think I guess we're gonna see in this case what Helma has. So that this may not be. Yeah, I guess. Well, we already saw the Lambo pattern. Like, would you be tempted to try and download the seed and then play it based on the enemy pattern?
It does not seem like a seed you should seek out. It doesn't seem particularly terrible, but nothing about it is like, oh, this is the seed.
Yeah, I'm already watching Matt's side too, and he, well, first off, we got 2 fireballs right from Helma. We're gonna get a third. This may not be the Helma that you want to.
Oh my
god, dude.
All right.
Okay, all right, we made it. We have confirmation that Matt, in fact, does not have red mail because we took 2 hearts of damage. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, we're fine. That's yeah. I think if you had any aspirations of trying a gold pod, Helma, I think it didn't matter. Like, I think what you probably did. I mean, before, like, obviously it still does, but like, I think Helma just kind of blew in a lot of the aspirations.
Yeah, that was a Helma.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think I think in certainly in races past, Helma I think has also been a common place of misfortune. Missing spin speed here seems to be kind of the downfall of a lot of the source of a lot of those misfortunes. Looks like though Gem's having actually pretty nicer time with Helmasaur, so I think that was actually a really nice cleanup. So should gain a little bit of time back on Matt. Speaking of gaining some more time, or not, oh my gosh, dude. that bridge.
Missed an item dash and the world ended.
Yeah. This is the problem. So they know that Matt is guaranteed to be, donating money to charity, and they're like, oh my gosh, dude, like, this guy must be filthy rich. Like, let me try and, scam him out of some more money. Do you think they have, like, a game or something that they want him to playtest? Just asking, One of those good causes for charity,
Yeah, I mean that's possible.
All right, looks like that. So I actually don't know how much Matt checks in. I think at least from previous races, kind of sounds like he checks in every once in a while. Maybe not this early. Kind of wondering in this case if he kind of knows like where the state of the match is. I did see him, take a little bit of extra time, basically with the whole getting the shovel to mirror to the light world to dig up the flute to quick swap back over to the something. I mean, that whole combination of buttons in that very short amount of time is pretty intense. But I think maybe he was just taking a little bit of extra time to make sure that everything, he got like first try dig, now zero try hammer, type of situation.
Yeah. I mean, if I don't know Matt's check-ins frequency, but I would imagine that he's checked in at least at AGA. That feels like if you're gonna ever look, that feels like the place to look. And he would have seen something happen to Gem. I'm way too far ahead. And it basically at that point it's okay, as long as I just play clean for the rest of my game and don't have any disasters, I should be able to hold this lead.
That's actually very true. And and actually, so I mean, Matt certainly is undefeated. I believe he beat Ralkin, I think, week 1, and then he beat Eri week 2. And one of the things that he even said, like in the post race interviews, is that one of his like strongest assets is consistency. So he's still very good at being able to keep his cool and just play his game, right? And obviously his game is very solid if he has basically 2 wins over some extremely formidable opponents.
Yeah, no, Matt is a very good player. I mean, all of the people in Hera are ridiculously clean at this at this speedrun. So
yeah, and like while I would say that, man, it's really hard to I think compare the skill level I think of Matt and Gem. I mean, because I really okay. So officially, Matt does have a 124 NMG time. He spent like 6 months or something at least to try and basically grind it. Like he started at 125 and then basically grinded down his whole minute basically, right? And he was star employee of the 125 factory, right? Like sometimes 2 shifts a day, right? I'm very dedicated. Gem has, I think, dabbled kind of off and on in NMG. I feel like for how much and how good he is, replays random, especially look at his vanilla preset times. Like he is effectively like a 124 player, but you still need he just doesn't have like the official run, and like it's like we can't say like, oh, okay, like Matt has a 124, Gem has a 124, they're about even, but it's just like you can look at their vanilla presets as you mentioned, right? There is like 114, well, like a high 114 versus like a slightly lower high 114, right? I mean, it actually seems like they're pretty even.
Yeah, and like, well, they both had pretty good hellways there, so that's nice. Even if you look through their splits as it goes, like. What Gem's PB he exits, these sound like, is that 38? It's hard to tell. It's so tiny.
Yeah, that's actually true. We need brighter shades of red. You know what? Maybe we can petition him to color his splits pink.
Changing it to be source resolution makes this much easier to read.
Okay.
So that is a 38. And Matt is a 3802. So like, it seems like if you check in at basically any split along the way, they're like neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean they're so good at the vanilla game, at the randomizer, and yeah, as we I think so Gem. Oh man, like he has, I don't know if people just have like, modes that they're known for, casual boost is definitely something that I think if you ever see Gem in a casual boost race, well, like the chances of, like your outlook, for victory certainly has, probably diminished a little bit But Matt, of course, he has an official title, right, from SGL, I think 2021, I believe there was like online one that he actually did win, right? Casual Boost. They know like so what, like they like their gameplay like is so good. Speaking of, though, we are actually well on our way to get to make the game now Omega playable. We already have boots at the 10-minute mark. Matt is on his way first between himself and Gem to go get the Tempered Sword, which will make the rest of the game significantly nicer.
Yeah, so neither of these neither of them are probably going to go for that Master Sword route.
Yeah. I feel like, maybe if you're in the Tower of Hera finals, right, maybe we could just, maybe they probably going to just, stick to what they know, which, but I would be kind of, I don't know, disappointed, or maybe not disappointed, right? But it's like, I think it'd be really cool if somebody, this week finished it up with an actual, going after Pyramid Fairy, getting silvers and gold sword. Would be cool to see.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that you can't do it a little earlier, because like basically realistically you're gonna need to do Moth, Biddy, Cold Stare, and Argus all on Master Sword.
Yeah, I mean, and like the difference I think between, I mean, you can certainly correct me if I'm wrong, like the difference though, for especially for those bosses, like the sword actually plays quite a bit of difference in terms of those boss fights. Like,
yeah, it makes it quite a bit easier. Like it certainly makes it faster, but it makes it way easier. And that's sort of the like you can have a pretty good Cold Stare with your Master Sword and your hammer, but you can also have a pretty bad Cold Stare with your Master Sword and your hammer.
Yeah, that's also true. I'm actually trying to think, like, can you actually get down to Cold Stare with sword beams, like with full health? Maybe if you I guess maybe you don't clip, I guess, like the stairs or something, or maybe you just get lucky.
I mean, you have two options. One is you just do Swamp early. I guess you can't do Swamp earlier with you basically need a drop. You can't do it with Hookshot because you need to do Argus last.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you're not going to have Hookshot, so you would need a drop.
Okay. I'm not actually sure then if that's actually going to be feasible.
No,
yeah,
that's
a good point. Yeah.
I don't think you can feasibly count on a drop in the Ice Palace.
Yeah,
as
this
part
is
of
not.
Your route.
Sadly, this is not actually. Well, I mean, it is still the randomizer, but in this case, the prize packs are also fixed, so you can't really, just try and slash random enemies and hope that you get something. Yeah, I was gonna say though, so we actually did kind of see a little bit of high-fiving between Matt and Gem, like in the same, in the easiest room in the game, no less. It just happens to be where we're at different stages. Gem did get a little bit, I think, bullied by the Gyptos, but thanks to Quick Swap and the Boomerang, just like that, you've got actually a little bit of a buffer and safety.
Yeah, that room is really not. I mean, ideally it just goes well. But like even when the Gyptos are being jerks, like if you're heads up and use the Boomerang, it's really not that bad.
All right. Okay. Matt's in Mothula. Okay. So what Relkin said is that Moth's movement is seated. The conveyor itself is not seated. So, good luck, I guess. I don't know how like the pattern, I guess, for like Moth's movement, I don't know how much like that has an impact versus like the conveyor. Like it feels like they could be like synergetical or like completely out of sync, right? And then the fight's just gonna be miserable.
Yeah, I mean, assuming you get Moth to cooperate in the first like movement, it really shouldn't matter much. When Moth cooperates in the beginning of the fight, you're looking at like one conveyor move before the fight's over. or
Oh
0.
my gosh. All right, well, talk about a really solid moth fight there. Can't even use Gem's emote to get moth. That was a very solid 9 out of 10 fight. I just thought it was a 10 out of 10 fight, but then moth like finished exploding and
Yeah,
it was
surprise.
a hidden hidden hole. All right. Okay. So all right. So Matt is already on Death Mountain, and Gems, I think, believe he's also going to go there right now. This is probably the biggest divergence, at least relative to the actual like vanilla speedrun, in that nobody really decides to go to Mire right after Skullwoods, because why would you? There are many disadvantages for going to Mire first. Both Gem and Matt, although manages to, at least so far, do all of Death Mountain unscathed. I think Matt actually even took some extra time to make sure that he didn't get hit. And plus, you're coming to Mire down 2 hearts, which health is probably your best resource for this dungeon. But the prize, though, that we can get in Mire is going to be extremely useful in the upcoming dungeons. So this is why we're here first.
Yeah, this was. I mean, it's awesome that both of them are gonna be able to enter Mire with beams, because this room, we love beams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Matt is showcasing how powerful beams are in that room.
But so this is the one sort of divergent point of common routing in the vanilla preset, and we see none of it from them. They are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, and I guess like from what I'm told, this is like the optimal routing, I guess. Right? You can do like Swamp, I think, still, right? Go get your hook shot before Mire and before Ice Palace.
I think
but
Swamp is like, if everything goes correctly, optimal.
Oh, really? Okay.
I thought
I
so.
see.
I'm not positive, but like the benefit of having the hookshot in Mire is not trivial, because you have it for that first bonk. You can just hook over. You have it for going to the big chest. There's a couple other places, and then you could also save a little time in Ice Palace with the hookshot as well.
Right, yeah. And I think you mentioned like instead of basically depending on a drop, if you want to try and get to Colster with full health, you can actually just hook over like the spikes, right? To the spike chest. Yeah. Certainly, yeah, a lot of really nice benefits for Swamp Palace to do. But on the other hand,
no, you know. But on the downside of doing Swamp first and getting that hookshot is like you need to end up doing Mire before Ice. That's sort of the requirement. And so then that means you're doing Swamp before Ice, and that's inconvenient from where you get your flippers.
Right, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you mentioned in this case, actually, I'm not sure how much of a difference like saving quitting would add, in terms of the overworld routing, but yeah, the flipper is being kind of like hard requirement before Swamp Palace. That certainly does seem to kind of throw a I don't know, wrench, whatever into things. Whatever you throw, like I guess like a rock, right? Maybe we can be catfish.
Yeah. And so maybe I'm wrong. Yurik is saying it 5 seconds for fluting out and hookshot doesn't save that much. I'm not entirely sure, to be fair. I was under the impression that between getting a hook climb on Death Mountain and the time saves that you have in Mire and Ice, it actually evens out and, comes in hookshot ahead, but certainly not enough to really matter.
Yeah. I mean, it also kind of seems like maybe like all of the different routes, maybe ultimately end is kind of like as you mentioned before, right? Maybe just like 5 to 10 seconds worth of difference, right? Maybe, and these are still kind of, I guess, still work in progress. Just kind of seems like not a lot of people, if you think of Run, kind of the vanilla preset. It's got a lot of attention certainly for because of NMG League, but again, I think it's still kind of like relatively new.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's very close to the point where I'm not convinced it, like, even if this got ran a lot, I don't think it would settle anytime soon, if at all. Like, it's just a what you're comfortable with situation.
Yeah.
Like, you are losing some time. Oh gosh. Okay.
Everything's
you were
fine.
losing some time itself in Swamp by having to do a bomb diver down instead of Samaria. So like,
Yeah, that's also true. It's okay. Jem got an extra bomb from Hera, so he's safe for Swamp. If you wanted to go that route.
well, we're both on the same bomb count, so. Seems good bomb count in the sense that we have just enough to complete our run at this point. Maybe one extra. We both got a 1 cycle on Vidi. And we're both have 0 arrows leaving here.
It's parody, you know. Matt seems certainly to be more cavalier with his arrows. I mean, he did use, I think, what did he use them to clean something up? Nice shield block, always the satisfying to see. But yeah, like he just basically just started firing arrows once Vitreous's big eye was out. Jem maybe had to be a little bit more careful. Jem has gotten like the wrong end of frame rules, I think, for his entirety of the run, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. It's very frustrating when the game just doesn't like you today.
Yeah, that is.
I mean,
yeah.
Aside from Moldorm being the disaster, it hasn't really mattered too much. Like he's kept it very clean and hasn't really let it like cause him too much time loss. Aside from Moldorm taking lives.
Yeah. I mean, I think like both like probably just like maybe like a very minor hiccup here and there, but I mean overall still still very solid. Looks like no quick fish attempt though today. We're gonna go toss in a bush, but we're still gonna go get our quick medallion. And Matt he's now on his way to. He's got flippers. We're gonna go to Ice Palace now, since we're right here.
Yeah, I think that the bush that the gem picked up has a chance of giving a heart.
Oh, right, yeah, that's also a really good point as well. I did forget about the fact that we probably want beams for Ice Palace.
Yeah, though beams are not that important with having the boomerang to quick swap too.
Also very true. Yes, another great use for the blue boomerang. I agree. I wonder actually.
Still nice.
Yeah. Guess we're just never gonna get the red one today, but it's all good.
I don't think so.
Oh, look at that bomb though. It's it played defense for the key. What's Matt gonna do with all these bombs?
What is he gonna do with these bombs? We should probably get someone to investigate that situation.
Oh my god, dude, did you see the crowd? Like, oh, okay.
Swimming's impossible.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jem didn't take any damage, which I was actually pretty impressed. Like, I think he was a good kind of like reaction to basically kind of like mitigate his both his time loss and his potential damage hits. So here we are. So yeah, so as you mentioned though, we don't have beams coming in, but he's gonna use this boomerang. Not get baited, not get basically he got lucky by not getting a bomb drop here. Although it is kind of funny watching, in this case, Jem and Matt have like, Matt has 4 bombs, Jem has 2, Matt has 0 arrows, Jem has 5. Like, the resources are not, I think, typically this divergent. Alright, so Matt did get a little bit unlucky, I think, with the stair close, so he did take an extra heart of damage. Oh my gosh, though, jeez. Okay, he almost got hit from the Stalfos, which was not have been the most ideal situations, but I think he's going into Colster with 9 hearts, which is, it's a good number to go into Colster with.
You mean, yeah, having
that 9th
plus
heart,
the 1.
Exactly, yeah.
Gem got probably the least important chest turn.
I don't know, it almost looked like he wasn't gonna open it. I'm glad he went back and did it though, because that key's kind of important. Alright, really nice cold stare fight on Matt's side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't even need all those hearts, you know? You just why have all this health if you don't use it? Alright, Gem dropping out of cold stare. Hopefully his fight's gonna go just as smoothly as Matt's did. Everything. This is why we. Oh no. that is so rough.
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
really rough. So now he's gonna have to go do swamp, I think, and then come back.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think I've seen some people maybe try and farm one of these like buzz blobs to see if we can get magic. Or
okay.
you know what? We were just gonna hop right back into Ice Palace, right? Easy. But that was kind of an unfortunate death there. Colster is an extremely brutal boss, as we just basically saw Gem get 1, 2, 3 comboed. I mean, and you know, it's not like I think he really had a lot of different options basically to, or else to basically try and get out of that area.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're by strategy putting yourself in the middle of all the cold stairs right up next to them, and then when you screw up, it it very quickly shows why that boss is spooky.
Yeah, that boss is probably one of the cruelest things. But you know, kind of as we're watching though, the fact that we are over here doing Ice Palace with Icebreaker, right? Kind of a rando exclusive ability that it is actually allowed in the rule set for racing. At least like the re-entry to Ice Palace isn't like as bad, you know, just because like you basically do, you know, you can go through the right side of Ice Palace as opposed to going through like the, you know, conveyor and doing Ice Palace bomb jump.
Yeah, the feels bad part is that, like, obviously you don't want any deaths, but like a death in Mire, for example, still feels terrible and still costs a lot of time, but at least it's not the whole segment. Whereas like Ice Palace Dungeon is like all just running through the rooms. You're not
I guess
getting any items. So like you just need to redo the dungeon. You get to skip opening 2 chests, which is, you know, like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and both of them we've kind of already seen the opening, like the chest already being opened. So yeah. All right. Okay. Round 2. I believe in you, John.
Okay.
That was good. we did it. I mean, like one of them looked like he just kind of got away from him, but I mean he cleaned it up pretty well. So
yeah, we had 5 hearts, so we had a little bit of spare.
Yeah, he could definitely take. Well, right. I guess like before the heart pickup, he had 4, so he could take 1 of the falling icicles. That was the. But yes, we're past Ice Palace.
Right, yeah.
We don't have to look at the split ever again until the next time we do this. Which I don't actually know how much more we're gonna do after League, but the point is, Gem's gonna go to Swamp. Matt is already basically on left side. Basically, it looks like actually it was pretty reasonable Swamp so far. Just 1 heart of damage.
Yeah, maybe Gem would be more inclined to run this if his pseudo boots start.
Or real boots start. I would be up for that too.
Oh, I think the pseudo boots is just less room for any questions. I think it just
okay. I think that's fair. That's also
right
because
then you don't get to skip Saha and
do
weirdness.
True. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Right.
It's like the exact you would do it the exact same route. It's just a quicker first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. I actually did not even think about like the early game. Here I was only thinking like we're just gonna get that sub 5 escape every single time we run this game if we start with Pseudo Boots. And you don't even have an excuse of doing a map check, you know, because you don't need that map check.
But if you do a map check, you can complain about how everything seems to be vanilla.
Oh yeah, uh-huh. Hopefully you don't open the first chest. That would be a pretty painful chest to open. Some time lost there. All right, there was actually a really nice diver down though on Matt's side as well, kind of showcasing, you know, the reason why again we take the, I guess, like a risk, right, of doing Meyer slightly under health, and but being able to pick up the Cane of Samarian, right? Very kind of like smooth Frando technique here.
Yeah, though he does have the bombs to spare if he wanted to use bombs. I just don't think that's a thing we want to do.
Yeah, it seems like you've already made the investment to go get Kane, and I mean, so not only do you lose health, right, for bombs, you also, I mean, I assume it also just takes longer too, whereas you have to like wait for the bomb to explode and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did he make it? No.
No,
sadly.
no, it's quite not quite a 1 cycle or 0 cycle. Yeah, okay.
It's fine.
Sometimes,
you know what?
sometimes this. Yeah.
You know, even some 123 runners just, you know, they just spin twice, right? That's, you know, and I believe also Wayne, you know, 123 runner, Dark Link user, you know, is just channeling his inner void.
So I do think that the menu makes it so it saves less time. Whereas in vanilla preset, you can quick swap to fire rods, so it's just
true. Yes, that's right. Good reminder.
Less
about
defensible.
The quick swap. That's a good point, though. Right. Actually, I guess like for quick swap, especially at this stage in the game, right? We kind of.
Oh my!
I hate this scene. This screen is like the most anxiety-inducing screen, like for any of Matt's runs. Like it doesn't this seems to be kind of like the worst one. He always seems to just have like the hardest time with this. But anyway, he got the round unscathed. But yeah, I was gonna say that he is kind of like on record saying that quick swap, you know, I think he says it makes the game harder, and especially kind of at this stage where we've kind of already gotten most of our items. So you kind of, you know, at the beginning of the game you had 2 things to quick swap, right? Like the bow and the boomerang and maybe the bomb, right? But at this point you have a bunch of other items. So you kind of have to basically keep track of basically, you know, which ones, which items you want to quick swap to. Looks like we're not going to get a Waffle House today, sadly.
Do we think either of these guys are running a tracker to keep track of their quick swap menus?
Matt, I think used to. I don't think he does it anymore. I don't know if Jem has ever done that, but I guess we can ask him. He's never mentioned it. If he has.
I feel like probably not, though. It's a bit of a crime to not use Jem's fantastic tracker.
Yeah, his tracker is amazing.
I think it is literally a mess.
Yeah, it's like the conglomerate of like every single random meme you like that has like come across. It is great. It is so good.
But by the way, really nice diver down there. Diverless diver down.
Yeah, it's I think he's been practicing kind of like the faster stride on the left side. So really cool to see that being paid off in a run. By the way, did you know that when we did I think Matt did a map check. That was I think I don't actually end up seeing anything, I guess, in this case, but I guess Matt maybe just wanted to do a slight pause.
I suspect it was a oopsie. Oh, that's going to be a 0 cycle on Jem's part.
Yeah, really, really well done on Jem's side.
But
the phase 2 though.
It must be the RNG.
Yeah.
The Argus RNG. You can't hit him with 2 fire rods. So yeah, Matt definitely has taken a look because he's mirroring out for the safe strat.
Yeah, I was gonna say like because I think you're actually supposed to run out, right, as opposed to mirroring, like
Yeah.
for the fast time. But I guess yeah, you do lose health, right, because you're basically taking a damage boost off of the roller.
Yeah, and like this, I don't know how much time the mirror loses, but it's not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And now you don't have to walk into a roller on green mail.
Yes, true. These guys are pretty far from red mail. Oh man, jumps. Everything's fine. It's okay. Yeah, and at this point, you know, so Matt just has to basically be consistent and you know not have any deaths basically, and then I think you know he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he's in just tap it in territory for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess you know for what it's worth, like you know against his own personal splits, he's actually doing you know like fairly decently. He is looks like maybe about half a minute over, but I think a lot of it was kind of contributed from nice Waffle House on jump side. Yeah, a lot of it could basically contribute from like Light World, I would say, right? The land most was not exactly you know the best of times, but other than that, just like other than from some you know very minor things here and there, yeah, Matt's run's been pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they've both been playing pretty well outside of like that one screen or this other, right? Like there's a couple screens that really just like murdered their time, but otherwise, if you look at most of their splits, they're pretty
yeah
on pace of where their PBs are at.
Yeah, and I think right. Keep in mind, like their PBs are, I believe, on like they're probably on the qualifier seed for what it's worth. I think those are the only. That's the only thing that they've been running. I guess like offline, and they haven't PB'd I guess in a race yet. So, and so like the RNG certainly is different. Like this one, I think would be pretty difficult to PB on. You know, just because we've seen like you know the Lambda patterns weren't great. Helma had 3 fireballs, right? And it just eats up time, right? That you really just kind of like is out of control.
Yeah, though, I mean, I'm not entirely sure how hard it would be to PB on, like, how much this would prevent one from PBing.
Mm-hmm. Also very true.
Okay.
Everything's fine. It's okay. I'm sure maybe he was attempting a hover on torches. That'd be pretty cool, right? To see on restream.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen one of those happen.
Yeah. Alright. It was actually pretty well done on jump side in order to try and dash out. Yeah, it's kind of like the complementary strat, the faster version, but as we're kind of also seeing, it does actually cost quite a bit of health, but it looks like Gem's gonna be able to get his fairy from hopefully one of these pokies, and so he should be back up. Just like that, right? Yeah. Easy.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Everything's fine?
Yeah,
everything
fine.
Is good.
This is fine.
Meanwhile, Matt's just had a very solid, no real hiccups Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this also looks like a very textbook Trinex fight. Textbook quick swap Brando Trinex fight. His ice rod is fully functional. It is amazing. I think the only deficiency we've seen so far was the fire rod on Argus, and you know, but it seemed to get you know right back basically you know where it left off on Trinex. So we're all good.
Yep, that ice rod's gonna see a lot of use in this run.
Yeah, just like every other rando run. Oh, dude, the funny meme.
Shot it exactly twice and we'll never shoot it again.
Yeah. Although I did hear like in the room up before Trinex, right? Like the peg maze, right? You can't like isn't there a strat with the ice rod you can use?
There is an ice rod strat, yeah. It's I think it's not as fast without boots, or I think it's better without boots. I don't know exactly.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, if we're gonna play without boots, like suddenly I kind of questioned the feasibility of that strat because I mean, you know, part of the benefit, right, of playing vanilla preset is that you get boots at 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean that's worse than boots at 0 minutes and better than boots at. Boots never, for sure.
Yeah. Well, you know, until we start with pseudo boots, you know, next season, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see some vanilla preset casual boots escapes where you just
Oh, dude, that would be awesome. Be so
you
good.
get to skip all the items and just get the boomerang and just zoom through the entirety of it.
Oh, true. Yeah, we don't even have to do the back of escape. So actually, our escape time should be even better, right?
Oh, anyone who doesn't get a sub 5 is needs to question things a little bit. Like
maybe maybe we might be spending a little bit more time in the practice hack. Alright, it looks like though, yeah, Matt's making his way through the gauntlet. So I believe also he is not a proponent of spike skip. I think that's just not a strat that he ever decided to go after, which is all good. You know, he's obviously has run an extremely consistent and solid go for this time. So we do have 20 arrows going into Ice Armos, so we should be all good. I don't believe he gets this chest. I think he just gets the one after Ice Armos.
Yeah.
Nice fight on Jum's side. He even got like a poke or something with a dash on his Tempered Sword. Oh no. Okay,
hey.
Matt recovered. Thank you for having 20 arrows. Oh man. Oh, we're good. We're good. Okay. All right. So this is where I think Jem had a slightly mishap on his last run up the gauntlet. Do not mirror when you mean to press an arrow or to shoot an arrow. So I don't think I've seen anything really, super egregious from Matt during any of his gauntlet fights or climbs.
Got a arrow drop, so
yeah, even
we'll
better.
Have comfy numbers for the whole climb now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jem's actually, all things he said. I mean, like he's actually, I think, making some really good time though, right? Like he is still a GT basement behind, but considering he's had twice as many number, like his death counter is certainly a bit higher, right, than Matt's. It's actually still a pretty dang good showing.
Yeah, I think Jem's been playing outside of, dying twice, so. Can't really make up for having deaths.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, you just got to keep playing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you mentioned, kind of at the beginning, this is effectively like a spoiler log, right? Where it's just kind of like a, the path that you have to go do is, just a bit on the completionist side, and just like in any kind of like other spoiler log races. A death is very hard to recover from, especially if you're racing, and kind of like one of the only ways you can quote-unquote recover is also if your opponent takes the same consequence, right? And Matt has not given Jem any opportunity to do so.
Yeah, no, Matt's been playing a pretty clean game. Like, at some point he saw that he had some sort of a lead and it's just, slightly reduced his risk chance while just playing very cleanly.
Yeah.
It also does help on the mentality to be just like, yeah, just gotta, tap this one in, just play clean. No need to go crazy anywhere.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I think like mentality does have like a pretty big impact, right? So it's kind of like one thing. You're neck and neck, right? You maybe have trading back and forth, 2 to 3 seconds worth, right? And it's a super close race versus, you are, I guess, maybe you're a couple minutes behind versus a couple minutes ahead, type of situation. It's just a very, very different set of nervousness, basically, kicking in.
Yeah, and there's no way to know, but I wouldn't be surprised if like something that contributed to Jem's Colts their death was just the fact that some of his brain is occupied with how can I make up the time? Like, how far behind am I still?
Oh, yeah. That's actually really... No, actually, I think that's actually a really good point.
Even if he's mostly focused, it still is not, not all there. You're still some part of your brain is worried about that.
Yeah, no, that's certainly actually a very good point, because I think at the time that was actually kind of already still after like the Hera death, and yeah, you have to try and figure out how to make up time somewhere, right? Doesn't always have to be necessarily like macro level, but you know, if you can make up a couple frames here, you know, on this room here, but yeah, all of that is still very mentally taxing. I certainly do agree to that. Okay, so for what it's worth, this is also going to be the same fight that Matt is starting as Akatu fight. Ajem is probably kind of busy right now going through the gauntlet, but if you were to so choose, he could take a peek and see, you know, what the patterns might look like. And that was that a 2-cycle on Matt's side?
That was 3.
That was 3-cycle. Okay, all right, missed
Yeah.
the first cycle, or the something, but looked pretty solid.
Yeah, definitely solid. Very, just overall very solid GT for Matt.
Yeah, and it actually looks like, I think like Matt also did not have the greatest like land modes, but also just looked like, you know, if it's seated, right? Jem also had a pretty, you know, pretty crummy time as well. Like it was just not a pleasant experience.
Yeah. That first hop from the land mode, just like up and to the left or something, it just makes it very difficult.
All right, Matt's starting his. Is he? I assume he got the 1-1. Looks very looks very clean. Okay, this is the. Matt has one more, I would say, major hurdle to get past, which is lighting and getting Torch Glitch. At this point, even if he doesn't get it, he probably has a good enough buffer that it won't actually matter. But you know, it is the, you know, the principle / you know, morale of the situation.
Yeah.
He's even getting the lamp just in case.
Yeah, I fully agree with just get the lamp out here. Like, we don't need to time that fire rod shot and let Hungry Ganon have his way with us.
Yeah, I think he didn't even like try to go for like a double spin or something, right after basically the teleport. You know, this isn't, yeah, like chances are he has, as you mentioned before, he probably just has already taken a peek and he just needs to basically get through this race. Yeah, and Matt also got a little bit bullied on by Moldorm too, but you know, still you know, got past the screen, did not fall. Jem is on his way basically to Agatu. So hopefully maybe he can try and get a 2-cycle out of this.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward. But that's Matt entering the Triforce room. Get your GGs. Tower of Hera champion right here.
Tower of Hera Season 4 champion. Extremely, you know, really great tournament league performance on Matt. Undefeated against, again, like this entire division is 8 extremely scary people. He bested Rolkin in week 1. He bested Eri in week 2, and he's besting Jem, you know, for week 3. Extremely formidable record here, a winning record for Matt. So big GGs. Also with a pretty respectable time, you know, 1:15.
Yeah.
All right, so Jem is gonna he's one Ganon fight basically behind Matt. So we're just gonna let him finish up, and then, you know, Jem will take, you know, his second place finish, and second place finish versus Matt, and then second place I think in the division. All right, also got the 1-1. Plenty of health, so we don't have to worry.
Yeah, I mean, once we're through the first 2 phases, you don't really need to worry, but plenty of health is a bit of an overstatement given. Okay,
that is very true. We are not, as you mentioned before, we are not on red mail. Green mail is still pretty dang scary on this fight.
Jem did go for the Double spin, fire rod. Missed the first shot, got a second one. Very only a momentary scare, but looking like a very clean Ganon. Get your GG's in for Gem.
Yeah. Well ran. Despite basically just like, you know, two major pitfalls for Gem, was still, you know, pretty solid run. So definitely big get your GG's in chat for Gem for finishing second versus Matt. And hopefully we can get these guys in for a chat. I'm gonna be personally offended if Gem doesn't come in.
You really leave him no choice, huh?
Of course. All right, we are here, joined both by Matt and Gem. GG's, guys.
GG, Gem.
GG's, dude. Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Did you peek over at all, Matt?
Yes, I peeked over after Helma, and then I saw he was at the statue when I was fighting Helma, and then I peeked again after Swamp, and then again at TR. I wish I hadn't peeked because I got really nervous and then played pretty safe. But yeah, I knew what the situation was. I don't know what happened to Gem, but I knew I had like a significant lead.
Yeah, we got bullied in. The Gem got bullied in Tower of Hera, and then Cold Stare eats lives is basically the summary of what happened. So it made sense. You were playing pretty safe at that point, and that decision makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, for me at my skill level, the chance to like win something in NMG is not going to come around very often. A lot of things need to fall into place in order to get into this situation. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ride this out.
I mean, your run also was also like pretty good. I mean, I think just, you know, maybe like you know, like a minor thing here or there, but I mean overall, like no, your time looked pretty decent. A little scary
Yeah.
Helma fight though, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I don't know. I just forgot what clockwise meant in that fight, which happens sometimes. I'm just like, oh, I'm an idiot. I just play safe.
I see. Is this a Canadian thing?
Yeah, maybe the clock's turned backwards in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like outside of, I guess like, okay, right, you got frame rolled, right? Is that what happened on Hera, like in Moldarm, on the very last hit? Okay.
Yeah, I went in on 3 hearts, and first he was camping the ledge, and I got hit, then I got frame ruled twice, and then I died.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah,
Well,
and then I guess like
you must have got a better movement than me, right? Because my guy went straight to the left side, and I like went above him and slashed him, and then he went like down and out. And then I guess if he turns around there, you're in a lot of trouble. That makes sense.
I don't know, for me, you just stayed at the bottom, and yeah, I tried dashing through
Yeah.
him twice, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, that was super unlucky.
yeah, I think, and did something just kind of like happen basically on Colster? Like, did you like miss a poke, or did you like, because yeah, kind of like, at least from like the watching perspective, like you didn't get like the second poke I think in or something, and then I think where Telltale was kind of mentioning that like you kind of got caught in the middle, and then suddenly right like Colster just charged at you, and then you got unluckily hit by the frost.
Yeah, pretty much. I just didn't hold A long enough for the first book dash, so I lost my sword out, and then I just kind of ran into Cold Stare, and yeah, then like you said, I was just kind of in the middle and got owned.
Yeah, the quick kills of Cold Stare involve basically putting yourself next to 3 puffs and hoping that you can keep them in the corner, and when that doesn't happen, oh no. So
yeah, pretty much.
So you two, you each get a charity of choice. Have you figured out what that's going to be?
Yeah. You can go ahead if you know.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure mine's gonna be the Canadian Red Cross. One time my apartment building caught on fire, and I had to like evacuate for a couple days, and they took care of me in that time. So every time I
Oh
get a chance,
wow.
I give money back to them. So I think that will be my donation.
That is actually a very heartwarming story. It's a really good cause. You know, so Jem, if your apartment building had actually, you know, gone caught on fire before, maybe you can maybe have a similar
Yeah, maybe.
story.
I'm
But
glad I
don't actually
don't.
go like
But
selling, you know, don't go set on your apartment on fire or anything, okay?
No, I don't think I will. Yeah, I will do research and another site because I haven't done that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think the actual numbers is like $50, I think, for Matt, and then like $25 for you. Well, you know what? I was gonna say all USD. I just realized that both you and both of you are actually not in the United States, so we'll just do some minor you know, currency conversion for that. But you know, I'm sure things will work out.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
And then other question is, you guys think you're going to be doing more vanilla preset runs now that this is wrapping up, or you're going to do NMG runs, or just not so much this run for a bit?
Oh, no, I'm very unhappy with my vanilla preset PB. I've been very far ahead of it a few times. I don't know if I really feel like playing this more. I'm trying to kind of decide what my kind of relationship is with NMG. I've been joining these leagues just to kind of maintain my skill level, but I'm kind of at the point where if I want to keep playing it, I really need to like set a goal and start working towards that. I've been kind of like tinkering with starting a grind again, doing some practice, but I don't know. I got like a family now and not as much time, so I got to kind of think about it and make that decision.
Yeah, for me it's kind of the same with Matt. I've been quite a bit ahead of my vanilla preset PB a bunch, so I think I'll try to at least get a low 114
Okay.
at some point, and then I don't know. Maybe I'll try NMG. Like I know I can get a 124, and I kind of want to get it, but at the same time, grinding NMG is a lot more painful than grinding this one. So
Yeah, I mean, you need
yeah, I'm not sure.
you need the right run just in terms of like 6 dice rolls, but and then you can and then you can push for a PB. So it definitely sounds more frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Telltale was also mentioning at the very beginning, like you can just lose time on text boxes, and you know, you don't really experience that in rando. So.
Well, that's if you're bad than me, but
Oh,
I
I
think that
mean,
most
oh.
I think that most of these guys pushing for 124s, 120 like low 124s or whatever, they've figured out text boxes.
And you
It's
still
just
have like 10 minutes worth of text boxes, though, right?
they're not fun. They're certainly not fun to deal with, but I don't think you're losing time with them, hopefully.
Oh man, if you ever get the pleasure of watching Airy do an NMG run in person, like the amount of physical effort that guy is putting into playing the game is so much higher. That's one thing I noticed. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, he's mashing so hard. I was like, I really gotta get on this.
I'm definitely also more of a lazy masher when it comes to text boxes.
Yeah, hopefully, well, I guess like we saw, yeah, I think a lot of this we saw, I guess like last year, right, at SGL when he was there in person, right, and he was, I think he got a bunch of other people basically together to do NMG run. I think the Sunday Weekly, I think, was also done like at SGL Live, so that was like, really cool to see as well.
Mhm.
So. Alright, well, I guess yeah. Any other thoughts up for kind of like close it? Hope you guys enjoyed League. Nice and short, you know, 3 races. This is extremely competitive bracket, league, whatever division. So hope you guys enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, just thanks to everybody who puts all the work to organize it. Thanks to the commentary. Shout outs to Jem, man. The guy is I don't maybe he grinds more than I see. Not someone who is out there grinding energy every day. And he came in and threw down a nasty time as like someone who primarily plays rando. It's just like, no guys, like I'm legit. Like step aside. Like really impressive what he did. So GG's to him, and again, thanks again.
Oh man. Thank you. Making me blush. Yeah. Also, like from my side, thanks so much to everybody that put in the effort for this league. Thanks for the restream, the commentary, and yeah, big congrats to Matt. He's an insane runner, insanely consistent, and yeah, congrats.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, looking forward to see you guys in the next whatever endeavor, whatever tournament. I think Casual Boost is starting up soon, right, Jem? And
Yeah.
Teletar, you're also there too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And
should
then
be fun.
yeah, and then I think there's spoiler, I think, for SGL Live, like on the online portion. So, be pretty
Yeah.
cool to kind of see some of that going on. Hopefully, you can make it, Matt. Schedule, schedule
We'll see
providing.
what happens.
Yeah, we're all hopeful. But thanks so much, guys. And yeah, so thank you, Telethar. Thank you so much. This was a ton of fun. Hopefully, we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to come join. Clear Mouse invites you to do commentary, and you just say yes. So thanks to both of you for giving me a good race to commentate.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is for Matt and Jem. It's probably two of my very favorite people in the community. So obviously very very talented as well. And thank you so much, Baseball. So Baseball was here apparently for like one day, and she was willing to basically set aside some time to restream this amazing race. So thank you so much.
You are very welcome. I will actually also be restreaming the race at 11 p.m. Eastern today.
Oh wow.
Yes, I'm here for literally one day, and I'm doing 2 restreams. Yeah, so if you want more NMG, join me at 11. We'll be watching the Desert Palace Round 3 Flip Heel versus Spleeby. So, yeah, very excited. Got to get my league fix in while I can before it's over. So yeah, thanks everyone. Really love these races. Thank you, of course, to Matt and Jem. And thank you to Clear Mouse and Telethar. Incredible commentary, as always. So yeah, join me at 11. We'll be right here, ZSR main. Yeah. In the meantime, I'm gonna send us over to Homewrecker, who's playing some Link to the Past rando. Yeah. So we'll see you later tonight. Thanks, everyone.